So for a deal like yours, if there's eyeballs on the stock, you guys have liquidity. There's people buying it. There's people trading it. You know, to have buyers, you need sellers, and then you can go out there with your paper and maybe go acquire some other related deals in the nickel pipeline. You know, up or down or adjacent. You know, real estate, and then you'd also have a situation where you could, other metals, other places like other geographic locations, other countries. Like if you could really put your empire building hat on, like what would be your vision of like Brandon's company, Nissa Nickel, is in a place, it's an empire in and of itself, right? You can imagine some ancient warlord that has his iron mine and his smith and his agriculture, and all within the confines of this tiny geographic area. I mean, sure, you do that with Indonesia. You can have it confines in a geographic area, but modern empires, companies, right? They're spread out throughout the world, and as long as there's stability and order and a Department of Defense that can, and diplomacy that can keep things safe for these companies, you can do anything. You can go out and acquire and build. What would be your empire building vision?
Very big, in the sense that I had somebody come to me very early in the days of raising capital for this company that said, I can raise you 20 million faster than I can raise you 2 million.
It's true.
And the whole mentality is, we want to hear a story. What would you do with that? And that got our brains running, because I do think you need to make sure for investors, when you take your money, you have to take that seriously. And that goes back to justness that you've been speaking about throughout speaking with one another. You have a responsibility to that money, and I'll do everything in my power to make sure it not only gets them their money back, but there's a large return at the end of the day. But the first thing you need to do is showcase that you can take that money and you can generate it into more money. You need to have a revenue model of some sort. That's
a real business.
The base and the foundation, right? And a lot of mining plays don't do that. They only think big. Like, you can think big, why not start small, show proof of concept, then start showing how big it can get. So that's exactly what we did with Nissa Nickel, where we wanted to gain our access to this. But we started off as just with our production license, and we tapped on to a third-party EU, which is what they call their mining permits, and we're operating through there. We pay a royalty so that we got there quickly. We make a little bit less than our margins, but we showed profit, we showed revenue, we showed proof of concept. Well, then in August of this year, now we have our trader's license. So now with our trader's license, we're building a division where not only are we going to be able to sell to ourselves and then sell to the smelters, but we can also, there's hundreds of producers in Indonesia where they are big enough to have a little bit of production, not big enough and not have the right business mind to build out the capital that you need to be a trader. So now our trading division is also going to be buying ore from other producers and selling it to the smelters. Now I have a whole other division of money where, quite frankly, for every metric ton that you sell as a trader, you make almost double the amount in net profit than you do the producers. So you actually make more on the trading side. We went in for production, now we're in the trading side, but it also allows us to broker those intermediate products back to the West. So now you make this trader side, but then we kept going, well, now we want to be landowners. So we started thinking, okay, where can we go to fast track becoming landowners, EU owners of our own? So we're in late stage discussions about potentially acquiring our own EU. So now not only are we the producer and we're the trader, but now we're securing what I believe to be well more than a decade worth of production. So now you're the landowner with three of the elements. The fourth element is processing and smelting. This is where we've had numerous discussions with other entities that are building potential technologies still in the very early stages. We just simply want to see where are they at and what could a potential future look like. So for anybody watching this right now, we're not at that stage, won't be for some time, but you have to think big. Operate small, know where you're growing, but also think big. You have to see that blue sky. And then that would be on the processing side. If you can build out that processing side, whether it's us or just building out the relationships, now you can start really unlocking the laterite. The laterite doesn't just have nickel in it. The laterites have nickel, it has scandium, it has iron, it has rare earths, it has cobalt, it has all these other incredible critical minerals that you need to extract. You don't get paid on that. No producer gets paid on it. You just get paid on your nickel. That's it. You don't think these other processors are finding ways of getting the cobalt out, of getting these other minerals out and extracting it? So now you can start looking at, okay, let's take scandium as an example. Scandium is an incredible critical mineral. Some people would argue it's a rare earth, but technically it's not. But with scandium,
it's a strategic metal.
It's a strategic critical mineral, both in the United States, EU, and Canada. what you can do is you can use a very little amount of it to put into a steel alloy and make it much stronger for less weight. Think aerospace, think airplanes, think trains, think all of that. But it's difficult because scandium goes in deposits all over the place. It's very hard to have, I would almost argue impossible to have a just scandium mine. It needs to be a byproduct. Well, there's scandium in laterites. So one of our goals as we continue to go, again, it's not near term, it's something that we're looking into though, as entrepreneurs need to look in what might be the next pass, is that scandium in these laterites, if you can find a processing technology that will get you the nickel, or get you the MHP, it'll get you the matte, the things that currently the world is demanding, what happens if you can also start extracting scandium? And you can start extracting the cobalt. And now all of a sudden you start building up this company that started with one critical mineral and now can be dealing with 3 or 4 of them.